Good morning. It's Sunday. It's raining in Oregon. Yeah, fancy that. We had 2 weeks of dry weather. No, I think we were like about a month since we had measurable precipitation. Um, so now we've got rain. Not real rain. It's kind of like a misty drizzle. A little bit more solid than fog. Um, and it's like 60 degrees and it feels cold because it was 100 and in the 90s for the last 2 weeks. Ugh. Anyway, I'm grateful for this rain. I don't think that it'll be quite enough to really wet the earth again. Dandelions will like it, but it's not enough to bring the grass back. Um, yeah, it's pretty much it. But it's definitely clearing all of the my alarm is going off. Dismiss. It's enough like particles, moisture particles in the air to condense on all of the smoke particles. There's a bunch of wildfires in our area, and I think I don't know if the Canada smoke is still coming down here, but it's been pretty smoky for 2.5 weeks maybe. So this drizzly rain, the fog stuff is really good for scrubbing our air. And yeah. Um so that's kind of cool. That's good. Not quite enough to water the garden. We still have to use sprinklers, but I'm working on that. I'm making a heavy mulch garden system that won't require tilling. All you do is open up a spot on the earth, plant your seeds, and then when your seeds get tall enough, you squish the mulch back around them. And then hopefully we'll only have to water a couple times in the middle of the heat of the summer. It worked in my last house. I watered my garden 3 or 4 times during the course of the summer. The big part is when you can, you plant from seeds into the ground because plants are good at reaching for water. But if you have it in a pot and you're coddling it, it's good for long season plants that they just need more time to get the foliage so that you could get the edible bits off of them, like tomatoes and peppers and things like that. Um, but you should really be planting them in as big a pot as in possible. And it's like you might start them somewhere little, like a germination tray. But as soon as you get a set of true leaves or 2 sets of true leaves, you should really be getting them into as big a pots as you can. That way they can just go hog wild with sending down tap roots to get to the moisture. And if you really, really want to be setting them up, you should kind of have the soil packed a bit in the pot, and then only water from the bottom. So have them in a watering tray, and you put an inch or so of water in the bottom, and the soil in the tray in the pots will kind of absorb it up the levels, and the plant will know you send roots down if you want to get water, and that way they're ready to go outside. So we've got that. Medications, I think I talked about that. 15 milligrams 3 times a day. What else do I have going on? Focusing on dairy free right now. I posted a grocery haul, showed some dairy free ice cream. I've been having problems with my coffee lately. It, I don't know. I think something's going on with my nose. Every, I can smell things that I normally don't smell. Like my coffee smells like coffee filter. And I've been rinsing the dickens out of my coffee filters. Just pour water in it, pour more water in it, and pour more water in it, and then finally put the coffee in it. And not awesome. Um, and then today, like last night, I boiled some eggs, and today I popped one open, and it smelled like beef tallow, like that. I don't know. And then when I cracked the egg open, it was like straight up fart. It's like, what is going on with my nose? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of stuffy too. Like I still have like the booger factory thing going on. So I don't know what's going on, but I can smell things that may or may not really be there. I don't know. It's a tumor. Um, and then for money, what is her name? The Canadian gal who's a teacher. I forget what her name is. Our Life on a Budget, I think. Um, I think that's who it is. I think it's Our Life on a Budget. Unless that's the Lydia Sen one. No, because she goes by her name. Yeah, Our Life on a Budget, I believe, is the lady. She did a 5 things going on to Dave Ramsey program. And some of them were really great points. That your budget isn't going to be perfect when you start out. There's a learning process on multiple fronts. First off, you have to learn to make a budget, which means you have to learn to every month sit down with yourself and make the budget. And another thing that you have to learn is to stick to the budget. That means at the end of the week, when you've spent your money, your spending money, you don't reach into another envelope. You don't reach into another category and pull out more cash. You don't swipe your debit card if that wasn't part of the budget. And really, if you find yourself running out of whatever category, it could be money, it could be kid stuff, not money, obviously it's all money. It could be food, it could be fuel, it could be car repairs, it could be, I don't have kids, but I guess kids need clothes, so there's like categories that people have about buying clothes for their kids that never stop growing. Pets that never stop eating or needing vets. If you write down how much you spend in every category, you can kind of get an idea of what you really need. My example, when I first started budgeting in January 2017, I estimated $400 or $350 for groceries, and I made a goal in February. Like, I wasn't tracking anything. Like, not really. I kind of went through my bank account on the computer and kind of said, oh, this is how much money I spent at a grocery store. This is how much money I spent at a grocery store. And this is how much money I spent at a grocery store. That was 1 month. Okay, let's check another month. And it was basically kind of confirmed what I thought I was doing. Like, I'll go a month of barely spending any money, like $100 at the grocery store. And then I'll do another month where it's like, oh, I used everything that was in my pantry, so let's spend $400 a month. And So trying to even that out by not completely using up my pantry, um, planning what I buy to kind of fill the pantry. Plus, now that I'm eating more towards fresh food, I'm not even buying the pantry type stuff. Like there's some cooking oil, olive oil, coconut oil, things like that. Yeah, I buy that. That's pantry stuff, sort of, because you use it for more than just 1 week. And then there's a lot of stuff that I buy that is just 1 week, fresh vegetables and things like that. I buy those week by week because that's how that goes. Um, but if you just kind of keep track of what you're spending, like, why are you always running out of your pocket money? Okay, well, what are you spending your pocket money on? And then you just kind of write that down and figure out, oh, well, I'm buying food stuff with it. What is a way that I can maybe have food things on hand that I can take with me instead of buying things out and about, or increasing your allowance and taking from maybe your food budget. Um, yeah, so, I mean, like, just kind of doing things like that is another way that frequently I ran into problems, still run into problems, um, with my budget. Wow, that was a big tangent. I completely lost track of where I was headed with this. Uh, Not gonna be simple. Oh, and then in February I set a goal to do $50 a month for my groceries. Not a very good segue, but $50 a month to for my grocery, $50 a week for my groceries. So that is a 4 week month. Very starts on a day and ends on a day. Very, very much a 4 week month. And I figured that if I can spend 500 or $200, geez, $500, that would be crazy. $200 in the month of February, then maybe it's something I could do longer haul. So I tried it, and it was so easy. And I didn't even realize that I could have reduced myself down that much. So then that's ever since then, um, since I set a challenge for myself, I realized that that challenge wasn't much of a challenge. So that's how I even set my budget for my groceries at 200, because it was originally, what did I say, 400, 350 to 400, maybe even 450. And just because that's like when I went through my bank account, that was what kind of like what I was averaging, sometimes 100, sometimes 500. So I figured if I did that, um 400, that it would be easy enough and I wouldn't go over budget, because like the main thing is to not go over budget, overestimate rather than underestimating, because if you're underestimating, you're always going over budget, you will get discouraged. If you find yourself always going over budget, write down what you're buying, why you're going over budget, and what you can do to not go over budget, whether that means increasing or maybe making a more specialized category. Like if you're always buying your pet supplies from the grocery store, so you consider that your food budget, uh, maybe not buy your pet stuff as part of your food budget and make it a pet budget. I don't know. Whatever works for you, works for you. There's like no perfect answer for everybody, because everybody's brain sees things differently and everybody's brain processes things differently and everybody's household has different needs. Anyway, um what else made budgeting hard? Every month is not the same. Just when you get caught up, something will happen. Keep track of the things that happen, like the weird, random car repair, for example. Figure out how much money that car repair was. Pay yourself back for it, obviously. You have to put money back into your emergency fund. But think about, is this car repair something that will happen again? What can I estimate for the next thing that's coming up for car repairs? And plan for it. Like, just say, every, what is it? Every 100,000 miles, cars will need a new timing belt. So if you are at, say, 85,000 miles on your car, yeah, your timing belt might not go out at 100,000 miles, but that's one of those things that you replace before it goes bad because you can totally hose your engine. So yeah, make a plan for it and talk to a couple of mechanics in your area and find out how much they would charge for it, and then take however much, like find the shop that you would prefer, whether it's more reputable and costs a little bit more, or if you're going for the cheapest bidder or whatever, and plan for that. So if it's, I don't know what a timing belt is now, like 1,000 or 1,500, and you know that you drive 1,000 miles per month, and that gives you 15 months to save up that money. So you basically, at 1,500 at 15 months, you have to put $100 a month into getting ready to repair your car. So, I mean, like, things like that. Just kind of keep track of things like that. That will definitely break your $1,000 emergency fund budget. Yeah, and I don't know. I just, this is kind of the things that I had to do as I am still learning my budgeting. And don't be too hard on yourself. If things don't work out perfect every single time, figure out what's wrong. Once again, visit what went wrong and ways that you can fix so that it doesn't go wrong again. I call it dummy proofing, but I'm no dummy. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so this is a pretty long, rambly video. I think I'm going to come up with some ways of preparing to track my snowballs. I will be starting snowballs in January because then I will have my dental fund taken care of. I've already put my teeth off for 3 years. I don't want to go another year, so I'm making that a priority, getting my teeth fixed. It's just under $1,000. No, it's just under $1,500 worth of work. I've got pretty good dental insurance. They pay 80%. Which is pretty awesome because next year they'll pay 90, and then after that it'll be 100, and then I won't have to worry about dental stuff anymore. So yeah, that's kind of one of my things that I got working on. And then after that, I will be putting money towards car repair replace fund. My car's 30 years old now. Really? No. 25, something like that. Anyway, then I need to start saving up for that. $1,000 doesn't buy much of a car. Like, it's like a 2-year car, if that, if you baby it. But anyway, and then so yeah, January I'll start really cranking on baby steps, paying off my debt. And I want to come up with some tracker ideas. So, what do you guys do for tracking your debt payoff, your baby step 2? I've seen those debt-free charts. I was also thinking about maybe doing like a snowball chart, like putting each of my debts so that I could like just cross them off. And then just be kind of done with them and have like a big visual thingy with all these crossed off spots. It's going to be 5 years of paying off my student loans. It's going to be crazy. Not good crazy. It's going to be. Anyway, almost out of memory. Have a good day, guys. Bye.